In this extract from Love, Lose, Live, we hear how Simon takes legal advice about applying to court for an order for the children to come and live with him, and doesn't like the honest and realistic opinion his solicitor gives him. In Simon's mind, recognising that it would be better when it was over meant seeing his solicitor to make things happen, not talking to Beth about what they should do. He wanted to make her comply with his wishes. He was thinking in terms of compulsion, not communication, feeling that his views were so obviously correct that any fair-minded person would agree with him, especially a judge. So Simon had made an appointment with Anna, his solicitor, as soon as the switchboard was open on Monday morning. Anna got all the paperwork ready, and when Simon arrived, she got him to sign the document in support of his divorce petition. She explained that proceedings could now be set down for trial, and then stood up expecting to usher him towards the door. Simon didn't move from his seat. "I've decided to apply to court for an order for the children to live with us." Anna's persistent questioning only served to increase her concerns. She did what she could to dissuade Simon, but he was adamant. As far as Simon was concerned, his reasons made perfect sense to him, even if they seemed incomprehensible to everyone else. "Simon, I have to advise you that I don't think this application will succeed, and it will cause unnecessary distress to your children. They will have to be interviewed by a court welfare officer. From everything you've ever told me, it's been apparent you consider the children's mother is well able to bring them up. Why should she be required to hand them over to their future stepmother just because she's returned to her profession? You work full-time and often travel abroad for days and even weeks at a time. Your partner also runs her own business. How can we seriously argue you are better placed to have day-to-day care of your children than their mother? Why can't we at least try to negotiate arrangements for the childcare to be shared more equally between you and the children's mother? I don't want to help her pursue this work in London. I want her to work locally, and she will if I bring this application." "You mean this is nothing to do with the children and is in fact a tactical manoeuvre?" "Yes, well, no," Simon contradicted himself as he saw Anna's frown. "No, of course not. I want my children properly looked after, and if Beth won't do it, then I will." "I cannot advise this application. In fact, I advise against it. I need to be sure you have realistic expectations about what would happen. You're unlikely to be happy with the outcome, which at best is likely to be some form of shared care, not a removal of these children to you, just some more time with you." "Those are my instructions," said Simon. "Will you carry them out, or shall I go elsewhere?" "You leave me with no choice. I'm just sorry you feel you need to do this," she said. Simon felt he ought to be feeling relieved that he had the initiative for once. But why did he feel so bereft? Why had he insisted on applying for a child arrangements order to try and get the children to live with him when he knew this would hurt them all? Once again, Simon's journey home from his solicitors involved a diversion to the pub. Waiting for the first drink to have an effect, he finally admitted, if only to himself, that signing the divorce papers had made him feel as though Beth had died. He didn't want her dead. He missed her in so many ways, but they simply couldn't live together. She made him so mad. What had that mediator said about grief making you angry and blaming? That you fight because you're angry, and you're angry because you're grieving? Suddenly Simon realised that his thinking was in danger of becoming bogged down in a mire of doom and misery. Momentary insights were agonising and must be dismissed. The only way he could survive was to nurse his anger. He ordered a second drink.